So I want to not get into the will he or won't they meeting in and around Donald Trump and Anthony Albanese. Again, while I am no fan of Albo, I want the best possible relationship between the United States and Australia. I hope there is an opportunity for a meeting. I hope that everyone can charm the pants off each other and things start to move in the right direction. But I wanted to talk a little bit about where I was at the start of the show, which is how the hell did we get here when 70% of the country believe that the military threat to Australia would be China, but 30% of Australians say we should have closer ties with China, while a very significant number of people say we need to pull back from the United States, principally because of the personality of their president. I say, for the 400th time, I'm talking about the CCP, not the Chinese people. I'm talking about the government in Beijing, not the diaspora that might be in Australia. But Joe, it's not a choice of a lesser of two evils, and I understand the diplomacy the Prime Minister needs to play. But about these poll results, we've got to be on the side of the Americans.
Absolutely, we do. Look, America is our oldest ally. America is the reason why Japan didn't invade. And I don't want to get into debates about the Brisbane line.
I was going to say, don't talk about the Queensland line. Don't talk about the Queensland line.
But point being, we need America. Without the USA, we basically don't exist in the Asia Pacific. We need to be so intertwined with them that effectively any attack on us is an attack on them. That is why we have their troops stationed in Darwin. That is why we let them monitor the solar system in Pine Gap. And that's why we went to war with them in Vietnam when Britain didn't go to war with them in Vietnam. That's why we went to war with them in Iraq when France, their oldest ally, didn't go to war with them in Iraq. So I think it's pretty poor form for the Americans to now try to use that alliance as a political football, and I don't like what Donald Trump is doing at all. However, AUKUS is going to last for decades. Donald Trump is going to last for 3 and a bit years. We need to think much, much more long-term and strategically than about people saying, I don't really like Donald Trump, so maybe we should just hang out with China. Xi Jinping, I promise you, is going to be around for a lot longer than Donald Trump. And even when he does go, he'll probably be replaced with someone just as bad. So.
Now, Angie, you know the tripwire that has now been created around, in part, some of this conversation politically. But let's just deal with the reality here, that we always keep being told that regardless of whether we like a Prime Minister in this country or dislike a President in the United States, the relationship must be more important than the people involved in it. That said, it does feel like, there's political advantage to both of them to kind of treat each other poorly at the moment. And I think that is to the collective dissatisfaction of the Western world and our little pocket of it. We need a close relationship, not red lines and demands between these two leaders.
Well, I think we all agree on these points, Paul and Joe, great to be on the show with you. It's so important, our strategic partnership with the United States, and what this story in the newspaper did outline is that the majority of Australians do believe that our relationship with the United States is way more important than one Prime Minister and one President in history. And our relationship does go way back. We have gone to war with the United States of America. We have had each other's backs for a long time. And now we do have the AUKUS agreement in place that the United States is looking at now reviewing. I would say that this is never more important than ever in our history that the Prime Minister does secure a meeting with the President at the G7. This is a matter of utmost importance for our relationship to continue. But most importantly, we do have that close relationship with the United States, and Australians understand and Americans understand that it's bigger than two men or maybe one day women in the White House and here in Canberra.